It is the 17th day of December 2014. Many thanks for joining us on Ebru African News this afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here with us today as we take a short look at what's been happening in the world thus far. Now, we've got quite a bit lined up for you, so let's hop straight to it. Starting us off, an administration police officer shot dead 5 people before killing himself after a domestic quarrel in Butere, Kakamega County. Now, the AP shot dead 4 of his colleagues and a civilian. The officer attached to Sachala AP camp in Butere, Kakamega County allegedly opened fire after he returned home from duty and found his wife arguing with a neighbor. Now, he killed 4 officers and a civilian before shooting himself. Police are still investigating the incident. Coming to the capital, 1 person died and several others were injured after a 5-story residential building collapsed near the Makongeni police station in Nairobi. Now, a joint rescue effort by the Kenya National Disaster Operations Center, the Kenya Red Cross Society and the Nairobi City Fire Brigade, together with the National Youth Service, is still underway.
Rescue teams continue to frantically search for survivors after a storied building collapsed this morning, trapping some tenants. Those trapped in the debris are communicating with friends and relatives. Witnesses say the building, which was still under construction, collapsed at around 3 a.m.
Last week tukaambia landlord, hii crack ni kubwa, please, hii nyumba inazanguka anytime. Akatuambia hii haiwezi kaporomoka. Kama mko na wasiwasi, hii nyumba ikiisha, wacha floor yenyewe juu, utaenda huko juu, ukae huko, endelea kaa hapo for the time being. Hizi zikiisha, utaenda hapo juu.
7 of the victims were rescued, 6 of them treated at the Kenyatta National Hospital and discharged, while 1 succumbed to injuries.
Deputy President William Ruto has once again defended the Security Laws Amendment Bill, saying that it is geared towards protecting Kenyans and the need to enjoy their rights as per stipulated in the Constitution. Now, he told leaders to take a common stand on matters of security.
The proposed amendments to the security bill have elicited mixed reactions with the opposition and civil society, terming it oppressive. But for Deputy President William Ruto, those opposed to it are against government plans to provide security to its citizens as per the Bill of Rights.
Tunawaambia wabunge waende wapitishe sheria ya kuweka usalama katika taifa letu. Mambo ya usalama si ya chama, si ya dini, si ya kabila, si ya sehemu moja. Mambo ya usalama ni ya Wakenya wote.
Deputy President urged politicians to put aside the political differences and pass the bill that's currently before Parliament so as to curb terrorism, among other criminal activities.
At the heart of the Constitution is the Bill of Rights that guarantees the right to life and security. The laws we are proposing is supposed to ensure the enjoyment by citizens of our country of the right to life, by making sure that those who want to undermine the right to life, terrorists and criminals, are kept in the right place.
Other leaders also hit out at the opposition and human rights groups opposed to the anti-terrorism bill.
Itawezekana Wakenya wauawe na kuna viongozi huko upinzani wanasema hatuwezi rekebisha sheria. It can't happen. We must change the law like yesterday.
Messages. President Kenyatta has told those proposing amendments to present their views before Parliament.
Now, the Pakistani city of Peshawar is burying its dead after a Taliban attack at a school that killed at least 132 children and 9 staff. Now, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has declared 3 days of mourning as Pakistan's army struck at militants in the region.
The latest Taliban attack marks the deadliest attack that has occurred in the Pakistan region. World leaders have voiced their disgust at the attack. Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai, who was shot in the head by a Taliban gunman outside her school in Swat Valley for daring to speak up about girls' rights, condemned the attack, saying she and her family were heartbroken.
My family and I are heartbroken after hearing the news that more than 100 innocent children and teachers have lost their lives in this recent attack on a school in Peshawar. And we stand with all those families and all those children who are injured right now and who are suffering through this big trauma. And now it is time that we unite, and I call upon the international community, leaders in Pakistan, all political parties and everyone, that we should stand up together and fight against terrorism, and we should make sure that every child gets safe and quality education.
Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has declared 3 days of mourning and also convened a meeting of all parliamentary parties in Peshawar to discuss the response to the attack. Reports from the army indicate that Tuesday's attack was carried out by 7 Taliban attackers, all wearing bomb vests. Pakistan has been on the spot of religious extremism. In 2007, a twin bomb attack at a rally for Benazir Bhutto in Karachi left at least 130 people dead. In May 2010, gunmen attacked 2 mosques in Lahore, killing more than 80 people. Militant bombers targeted a snooker hall, killing 120 people. Last year, militants linked to the Taliban killed at least 80 people at a church in Peshawar. In Afghanistan, the local Taliban has described the school attack as un-Islamic.
Wrapping up our bulletin, the gunman who was responsible for a deadly siege in a Sydney cafe was once on the National Security Agency's watch list, but was dropped off it years ago for reasons that remain unclear. Now, Australia's Prime Minister Tony Abbott said that the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation was watching Monis in 2008 and 2009 because he had sent a series of offensive letters to the families of dead Australian soldiers. Here are the details.
Yeah, he's got
Abbott said he did not know why Monis, a 50-year-old Iranian-born, self-styled cleric, was later dropped from the list, adding that Monis also had a gun license despite his long criminal history.
How can someone who has had such a long and checkered history not be on the appropriate watch lists, and how can someone like that be entirely at large in the community? These are questions that we need to look at carefully and calmly and methodically to learn the right lessons and to act upon them.
The New South Wales top policeman also says he's concerned the hostage taker was granted bail and was free in the community.
We were concerned that this man got bail from the very beginning. When he was first charged criminally, it related to a matter that he was currently before the courts on, and we sought and in fact refused his bail. He subsequently went to court and was granted bail. In terms of the other matters that he was charged with and was appearing before court on, he was also bail refused, but subsequently was granted bail.
Man Haron Monis, a self-styled sheikh who received political asylum from Iran in 2001, was well known to Australian police and security agencies, having been charged as an accessory to murder and with dozens of counts of sexual assault. He was free on bail when he began the cafe siege on Monday.
So that wraps up all we had lined up for you on Ebru African News this afternoon. Join me at 8:30 p.m. for our primetime bulletin and a much more in-depth, comprehensive look at what's happening in our world today. It was an absolute pleasure to have you here with us this afternoon as we took a short look at the ins and outs of what's been happening in the world. I'm Kamene Goro. Up until next time, and from the entire Ebru Africa family, we're wishing you an absolutely lovely, blessed Wednesday afternoon.